And so, Daniela, burnout can feel so nuanced. There are causes we don't always expect, caught by fire, those moments that we just are not prepared for. And from your extensive work, what are some of those surprising or unexpected causes of burnout that people often overlook in your experience?
Yeah. A lot of times people assume burnout comes from the things we don't like, a stressful job, a hard boss, a bad relationship. But actually, studies have shown that the things we're passionate about, the things we love, can actually set us up for burnout more so than some of the negative things. Because you think if you're at a job that you don't always care for, 5 o'clock comes and you're like, bye, I'm out the door. Versus something you're passionate about that you go all in on, whether it's maybe your kids, if you're an entrepreneur, your business, or a relationship, those things that you go all in on and you toss your boundaries out the window is actually setting you up for burnout a lot more, because you think because it's your passion, you ride the highs and lows so much more intensely because it's personal. You're invested emotionally. You're so much more tied to the outcome than something that you don't care for as much. As well as, like I said, you toss your boundaries out the window and that becomes your sole focus. I remember talking to a new mom who's like, oh my gosh, you're my first adult conversation in the last 2 days because she was so all in on her kids. Or you think if you're all in on a relationship and maybe you don't see your friends as often, or maybe you're all in on your business and so now you're working more hours than if you had a job. And realizing that's some of the stuff that can throw you out of balance by being so overly hyper-focused on one things and not having those boundaries in place, because you need boundaries not just for the things you don't care for, but for the things you love. You can have too much of a good thing. You can have too much ice cream. You can work out too much. You can do too much of a good thing without those boundaries. And, that's a lot of where, when I talk about balance, that's where your balance comes from. It's not about everything being equal, but it's how you adapt, pivot, have resilience, and those boundaries in your life that help you flow through the day to day.
And I noticed as part of that investment of self, that you push and you push and you push yourself, and you're like, you might feel like you're on -10, but I can find 20 more. And by reaching in and, not having enough to top up the tank. So your self-care with your gratitude and your exercise and connecting with your team, your community, your cheer squad, things do fall apart much more quickly when you let those vital, they're not just a luxury, they're vital necessities to keep us moving forward. And I know that's something that you emphasize with self-care, that it is not a luxury, but a daily necessity.
Yeah.
And that shift in mindset can be tough for many. Why do you believe daily self-care is so critical, especially for caregivers or high-achieving professionals?
Yeah. You got to think, you set the tone for whether it's your family, for the meeting you walk into, all those kind of things. And if you're showing up as a hot mess storm, or if you're showing up depleted, if you're showing up with that negative energy, you're going to spread that to everybody around you. So definitely as a high achiever, as a caregiver, those are the things you want to be replenishing, just like you charge your phone on the daily several times a day. You need to be recharging yourself. Like I said, self-care, it's not just about feeling calm and zen. It's where you get your confidence from. It's where you get your energy from. And just like you eat multiple times a day, you wouldn't eat on Sunday and think you're not going to be starving on Tuesday. You can't just do self-care for an hour on Saturday and think, oh, I'm good for the week. It needs to be just as consistent as eating, sleeping, and brushing your teeth. And like you said, it's not a luxury. And when I talk about it, it's not, spa days and bubble baths and getaways and massages. Like, I love those things, but those aren't sustainable on a day-to-day basis throughout my day. And so the self-care I teach is a very practical self-care, and it involves everything from how you eat, how you sleep, how you move, how you dress, how you decorate and organize your home, how you connect with others, how you think about money, as well as in that traditional personal development like mindfulness, meditation, journaling, all those kind of things, and gratitude. And so, you look at them, these different options and these different ways to start integrating self-care. And then again, we're doing them in micro moments throughout your day. And now you have this fluid system, and it doesn't have to look the same every single day.